the next iteration of our podcast. And if people wonder like why have I been doing so much content about the podcast? And here's the honest, make sure that I'm leaving my kids with the skills, the path forward, the advice that they're going to need to succeed in whatever path they decide to take. And I just remember when I was at a point in my life where I didn't know what I didn't know. And more importantly, I had no idea how to get the information from someone that's already done it before. And had I not started a podcast, one, I would have not been able to meet some of the most amazing people in my life. I'm so grateful for that. But more important, then I got to help other people because then I got to bring some of the information that people want to use to build more affordable housing and share that knowledge with them. Every single piece of knowledge that I've acquired, I've been able to share with everybody else. And I hope my kids get to get that same exact feeling. And I want to share with them the process. How do I get to do it? So today, here's what you're seeing. I have an upcoming podcast on small lot subdivisions. And for me to make the podcast worthwhile, I have to prepare a little bit. I have to figure out how do I find the one or couple of questions that provide real practical advice for someone that's in the space trying to do development, right? That information is so useful. It's so valuable that I have to figure out how to incorporate this. So for me, I've been able to find out, okay, he sent me some information like, hey, these are some of your big considerations: parking, setbacks, fire separation. Great. I want to make sure I'm asking questions about these topics so that I can extract that information out for our audience, our members, because I want them to leave. Hey, look, you're thinking about doing a small lot subdivision. Well, what do you have to think about? Well, what do you need to know about parking? What do you need to know about setbacks? What do you need to do about fire separation, right? The zero lot line thing that people talk about all the time sounds great and all, but in practicality, how does that work? I want it to be real practical advice that someone can use towards their building, their project, and they can apply it from that point on. So hopefully this is helpful for everybody. And let's see, stormwater. Yeah, I love all these ones. I covered all these in due diligence. Multi-unit subdivisions, offsite costs, storage, HVAC. I want to get into very practical items. So in the modular. So I'm going to talk about modular. All right. So here's what's going to happen. What I'm going to do is look up, okay, so I have some number one mistakes. How should a new developer decide where to include parking, reduce, or eliminate it entirely? You say power lines, correlate bulk wing, most of our wishes check setbacks before coming into layout based on setbacks / utility clearance. Interesting. Yep. Now, why I think one was a simple part of a thing. Offsite improvements, curbs, sidewalks, alley paving, utility upgrades, modular housing. Search for can you clearly explain your modular, manufactured, prefab, and industrialized construction? Good, I like that one. Very high volume. So in order for me to talk about modular housing, right, this is a great example. People are trying to figure out what is the difference between all these different terminologies. That's a great question for me to ask, because I can't assume that someone automatically knows what modular housing means. Like, we haven't even defined the term yet, right? That's what's so important. So again, if you're watching this, right, and you have questions about modular housing, or you have questions about small lot subdivisions that you would like answered, let me know what they are, because I want to cover all these topics in the future episodes that we cover that we cover with all these guests. Right? I spend so much time trying to get these guests on the podcast. I might as well ask the questions that you all care about, because this is what it's meant for, right? So, boom. process, not the product. Interesting. High-ranking modular questions. Is modular housing cheaper or faster, and which one actually matters most for investors? Is modular construction cheaper? Interesting. Hard finance, boom.
What's she doing?
How can you calculate feasibility? Love you, Soleil. So you I guess. What is best density for small subdivision lots? Boom. Yeah, see, I like getting all these questions. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this in a Word doc. And I'm gonna figure out which are the ones. Okay. Based off these questions, please show me the top 10 questions based on search volume that will allow us to give the most valuable, practical, and tactical steps for our community of affordable housing investors while optimizing our content for GO and LMO. Boom. So now that I got all these questions that I wanted to kind of go through, I wanted to figure out, you just give me 41 questions. Like, tell me something that is gonna be here. I search intent. Great. This is what I'm gonna go through. This is perfect. How do you decide what are the biggest costs? Like this, how should infield developer decide whether to include parking, eliminate? Oh, parking is a big one, huh? All right. What is the correct way to verify setbacks, utility clearances? Boom. This is gonna be a good one. What is the real difference? Yep, that's a good one. Okay, so now that I got these questions in here, I also want to put in these parts, all these sections, right? So all the considerations between this question, it'll be great to highlight many of the sections in 1 to 2 sentence punchlines. Punchlines are easily clipped for digestion. For example, you have parking considerations, you have fire separation. Let's see. So if you have utility considerations, so right, for example, if utility considerations, I'm writing this question out, right? For example, if you have utility considerations, you can say conceptually what you have on this Word doc regarding points of connections to the site and where water, power, sewer, or gas can be routed efficiently to each lot. We should cover examples of issues that can come up, what that issue might have costed, and how did they overcome those issues at the end of the day. One, cover connections. 2, then you got to provide a story. Provide a story or example and 3, how do you or your clients overcome those issues at the end of the day? Boom. So that's how I do it, right? So these are all great examples, but when it's too generic, right, it doesn't work. It has to say, hey, what's the concept? What might be the issue that comes up? What's the problem you faced? And more importantly, how much is the cost or how did you overcome that problem? That's what's most important. All right, that's how we'll go through it. All right, hope this was helpful, everybody. I just want to kind of show you the process and how I thought about covering a podcast that makes it very valuable for the person that's listening to the podcast. Not for me, it's for the person that's listening, right? Everything we're doing is in service of the other person that is giving you their attention, their time. So this stuff is so important. Please don't dismiss it because people will understand how much you prepare. And when they see how much you prepare, then that's when they are willing to give you their time of the day, to invest their time with you to make sure that their message gets across to the people that so needs it. All right. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you all tomorrow for the 7